Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. I am RPG Lover, and welcome back to another gaming discussion video. It's been a hot minute since I've said that phrase. Yeah, we're back again. So today's topic is about VR and the future of it, and just what I think it could mean for the gaming future. But before I get into that, I would like to apologise for the late upload this week. It was meant to release last December. I can't even do YouTube anymore. It's been so long since I've recorded. But yeah, last Sunday is when it was supposed to release. That's when I release a video. Every single Sunday at 9 PM British Standard Time, you can convert that yourselves, is when I release my videos, because I like to have a schedule, because it keeps me busy and it keeps me having stuff to do. It keeps me with a goal in mind. You've got to not just stay motivated, because motivation can die out every now and then, but you also need persistence. Now, it's not that I haven't been motivated to make videos. In fact, I really want to make more videos. The issue was that university right now is it's getting quite intense. As the weeks are progressing, we've been getting more and more into stressful and work-heavy weeks for my games design course, which is why YouTube videos had to slow down. And last week, to be specific, I had an assignment due that week, which meant that all of my effort was making sure that that assignment got submitted to the highest possible quality that I could submit it at, which just meant that YouTube got pushed back to quite low on the priorities list, and then I had work Saturday and Sunday. So I'm now recording this. Hopefully I'll have time for a video this Sunday. But for now, you've got this, and it's been a long time since I've sat down with my mic and recorded just another analysis video. And I was thinking about VR because, unfortunately, now that I'm at university, I did not bring my PS4 and my PSVR with me, because it would be a pretty silly idea. I mean, it's a brand new city. But the point is, I left it at home, and I really miss it. And there's a few reasons for that, which I'm going to delve into now, because VR, or virtual reality, is the fancy name for it. It's a very unique and interesting genre of video games, because there really isn't anything else like it. The footage I'm showing right now is of me playing Beat Saber, which is my favourite VR game and in my top 10 games of all time. That's another side note. They've released Halloween music, they've released, I believe, a Billie Eilish music pack, which I really want to play, but of course, I'm not at home, I'll have to wait till Christmas for that. So, the VR, even though you're watching footage of the game, you might be thinking, oh, I mean, it's fun, there's some lightsabers, and there's some flashing lights, but the key part of Beat Saber is the music, because with Beat Saber, it's incredible. It's perfect for working out, just like Ring Fit Adventure, which is basically the only thing I've been using to stay in shape. But with Beat Saber, you know how when you go to the gym or you work out at home, the most popular thing to do is to listen to music. Probably some intense stuff, maybe some pop, maybe some rap, maybe some rock and roll. Something that gets you going, something intense. Well, the studio that made Beat Saber essentially just looked at that concept and thought, let's make a game out of it. Unfortunately, I can't play any of the tracks for you because they're from popular artists, meaning they're copyrighted. So you've got my nice royalty-free music in the background. But it's an amazing game because it keeps you in shape whilst listening to your favourite songs, and you hit the notes to the beat of the song. And the replayability on the game is insane because you have easy mode, normal mode, hard mode, expert mode, and expert plus mode. They're always adding new music. They've recently released a multiplayer mode. They've got a story mode in the game, and they've got a bunch of modifiers which can make the difficulty of the level even more unique. There's a mode where you don't see the notes. There's a mode where the notes disappear after a few seconds. There's a mode where the notes appear at a much faster pace. It's completely customizable, and it wouldn't work as a game with a controller or a game with a mouse and keyboard. It's the fact that you are wielding the, well, for me it's the PlayStation Move controllers. The fact that you wield them like swords, it makes you feel like a samurai. I really can't explain in detail. Just trust me, you have to try a VR headset at some point in your life if you really like games. It doesn't need to be your own. I'm not saying you need to go out and spend 500 quid on like an Oculus Quest 2. But what I am saying is find someone who has a VR, maybe a friend of yours or a family member, or go out and go to a con or something, or like EGX, and see if they have any VR headsets that you can try out. Because my word, it's incredible. Because the camera moves by you moving your head, and the game moves by you moving your arms and legs, maybe to swing a sword, maybe to wield a gun, maybe like in Job Simulator where you just have two hands. There really is nothing else like it, and I think there's a big future in the field. Now, to say that VR is going to replace holding a controller in your hand and playing the game, I don't believe that. I personally believe that VR should be classed as a genre and not a replacement for controllers. You've got standard controllers and you have motion controllers and you have touch controls too. So like the 3DS and the Vita, they have touch controls, and they've existed at the same time as, you know, PS4s, PS5s, Nintendo Switches and stuff, and the Xbox Series X. So they can coexist and be fine. Why can't VR? So we can have VR be this other experience, and my word, it's so incredible. The tracking, if you think the tracking is as bad as the Wii back in 2006, the tracking has improved so much. That's why the price of it is so high. For many VR systems, you are paying for a luxury. I won't lie, it is a luxury, and I'm incredibly thankful that I own one. Hence why I wish I was playing it right now. But VR is just so amazing as a concept, and it's only going to get further and further and better from here. Because I'm legitimately staying in shape from VR. You can't say the same thing from video game controllers. Honestly, just trust me that when you're in the game and you've got the headset on, you forget about everything else. I mean, you just think you're in this new world. It's like, I've never been to the moon personally, but I can imagine what it's like being on a different planet thanks to virtual reality. And the games are getting better and better too. We started out with simple tech demos, you know. We started out with Job Simulator, which, I mean, it's gotten better. It's really funny, but it's not that replayable, and that's the key part that I think VR needs to improve on. Is the games are very short at the moment, in my opinion. Yes, Beat Saber's an exception, but that's because I use it to work out. That I use Box VR to work out as well. But say, like, Five Nights at Freddy's Help Wanted, which is my favourite FNAF game. I'm a big time FNAF fan. I haven't really talked about it on the channel yet, but I love it. It's my favourite horror series. Security Breach just got a new trailer and it's coming this Christmas, and oh, I'm so excited for that. So, but with FNAF Help Wanted, as much as I love the game, and I do, once you beat the game, which is essentially going through all of the nights, and I won't spoil it too much, but you've got to beat all the past games and some new special VR-only events, there's not really anything else to do, besides like hidden secrets, which you only really care about if you're deep into the lore. But that's it. And then you move on to another VR game. So a good one is The Walking Dead Saints and Sinners. Once you've beaten The Walking Dead Saints and Sinners, I haven't yet personally, but I know there's walkers or zombies in it. I'm assuming once you find like a shelter or zombies are defeated, that's it, the game's over, and it's not that long. The reason the games aren't that long is mainly because of two reasons, in my opinion. The first reason is if you use the VR headset for more than an hour a day, it becomes unhealthy for you, like legitimately unhealthy. You can get a headache, you can get migraines, you can get eye strain. It's something that you have to be aware of when using VR headsets, is you have to think, okay, I'm going to dedicate the next 40 minutes to playing Beat Saber. Then I'm going to rest my eyes, maybe read a book, maybe have a nap. And then the next day, maybe, yeah, you can keep playing. The second reason, which is the bigger reason that I want to get into with this chat, is the fact that VR is still unfortunately a bit of a niche market because of the price tag on it. It's very hard for people to invest. So PSVR, for example, you have to own a PlayStation 4, you have to own a PlayStation VR kit. For some games you need motion controllers, which can cost another 60 quid. I think that's about 80 bucks in America. Of course, you have to buy the games themselves, which can range anywhere from 10 quid to 50 quid. You have to make sure you have the storage for it. If it's an online game, you have to make sure you have PlayStation Plus. And of course, you need the PlayStation camera so it can track you. That's a lot of money. That's close to £1,000, £1,000, maybe $1,200. And because of that, the VR games don't sell as well as standard games. And because the VR games sell less, that means the budgets for the games are smaller. That means the amount of companies or indie game studios working on the games is smaller. Which naturally means and leads to the fact that the games are really short and they're not very diverse at the moment. You only really have a few sub-genres of VR game. You have shooty bang bang ones. I wouldn't call them first person shooters because technically you are the person. So maybe they are first, but well, point is you have a gun. because it just blends well with virtual reality. A first-person shooter is you wield a gun and you fire it at humans, zombies, notes, anything really. The second one is medieval action. Typically you're wielding a sword. I would include Beat Saber in this. And the other genre, I guess you could count horror. Like Until Dawn Rush of Blood is a good one, where you're on a roller coaster ride and it's very terrifying. If you want footage of that, a channel who I have collaborated with in the past, Steve G2110, I'll link his video about VR. It's quite a few years old now, but I still think it holds up. So you can get both of our perspectives on VR. The thing I want is I'm an RPG lover. Just like the channel name. You don't really have that genre yet. And that would be a perfect addition because the games are naturally really long and they're story oriented. And you've got like class systems that could branch off into different kinds of VR, you know. If you change class, only in VR could you imagine a Dragon Quest game. Imagine, right, if any of you have played Dragon Quest 3 or Dragon Quest 9, they have a job system. You can change to a warrior and wield a sword, but have no magic. You can then change to be a mage, where your attack is really weak, but your spells and the strength of your spells are really strong. Or you can switch to a priest, where you can heal people and buff your party. That's just pressing buttons in a command menu in Dragon Quest. Now put that in VR, and because it's in VR, there's no party members, there's only you, because you're the one with the headset. You know what that means? That means you get all the jobs. So imagine a first-person Japanese role-playing game where you wield the sword of a warrior and you block with your left hand with a shield, and then you can just change classes to a wizard or a mage or a sage and just suddenly start shooting fire out of your hands. Wouldn't that be incredible? And being able to experience the story in a completely 360-degree environment where everywhere you look is part of a role-playing game. Imagine playing as Cloud Strife, but you're in the virtual reality and you see Sephiroth walking towards you in person. How intimidating would that be? This is why I believe that VR is only just beginning. And it's already been out for over a decade. It's still very young when you look at it realistically. Game consoles, they've almost reached perfection now. They've been out for generations. We're on the 8th or 9th generation of consoles now. It's been over 50 years. VR's only been here for a decade. If you think back to why consoles weren't that popular, they were only around for a decade and they weren't nearly as popular as they are now. So give VR a chance. Maybe this Christmas treat yourself to a VR headset. And I do think Microsoft should make a VR headset at some point, because they have the money for it, and I don't see why not. I want to play Halo in virtual reality. I want to squat in Gears of War like all the characters, you know? I want to play Cuphead in in VR with all the hand-drawn. The amount of years of work that would require would be insane. But there's potential. There's a lot of potential right now. I wouldn't say people have mastered it yet, but there's so much creativity from VR games. You don't really get any games on VR that have annual releases or loads of microtransactions. Generally, you're fine. So, I don't really see any downside besides the price, which is a shame, but my theory is the better a product sells and the longer the product is out on the market, the cheaper it is going to become, generally speaking. We could be looking in the next 20 years at a 200 quid VR system, or a 100 quid VR system, or even a 50 quid system. I mean, Nintendo's already made the Labo VR kit for less than 100 quid. Granted, that kit is not amazing because you have to physically hold the headset with your hand, which is a bit of a design flaw because it will make you tired in about 5 minutes, and it's designed for kids. But that's a tangent for another day. I do have 2 of the Labo sets, but I don't have the virtual reality one because I lost interest at that point. Virtual reality. It's the future of one genre of gaming. Not the future of gaming, period. I still think there's going to be other genres around for a long time, like touch controls and motion controls and controls. So you don't need to worry. You don't need to get anxious about the thought of, oh no, my favourite Xbox is not going to be Xbox anymore. It's going to be the Xbox headset Series X Plus Pro XL. No. It's just, VR is just a hobby. It's just a side hobby. That's what it is, and it's a beautiful genre. I mean, are the visuals of Beat Saber not enough of an example of the creativity people have made? I like to compare VR in a very similar way to indie games. They've got the same amount of passion, they've got the same amount of love, they're very niche, but they're so creative and unique. And a lot of VR games, they sell for quite cheap. Sure, the headset's expensive, but Beat Saber's only about 20 quid, I want to say. So, should you buy a VR headset? I would say, as of right now, it's not a definite, it's not a must-buy. I only got one because I really desperately wanted one and wanted to try it out after someone I knew let me test out their VR and see what it was like. Because yes, the price is a bit insane at the moment. Especially with the last 2 years we've been in, you kind of want to be saving money. So if you really love games and you are a games designer or a games programmer or just make software and are interested in how software is made and what the final product will look like, and you have a PS4 or a good PC, then yeah, if you got the spare cash, I'd go for it. Give yourself a chance. But if you're unsure, if you don't have a PS4 or you don't have a good enough PC like me, I'd ask yourself the question, realistically, how long am I going to play VR games for? Because they aren't long games. So you need to find some VR games that you can keep coming back to make it worth the price, in my opinion. For me, that's Beat Saber, Box VR, The Walking Dead, Saints and Sinners, and a couple others like Tetris Effect. A side note, Tetris Effect is the best Tetris I think has ever been made, and it's definitely my favourite. There's an old stream I did of it a year ago on the channel. It's not a great video, not very entertaining, but I have it up there. It's just an incredible concept, VR. You get to see all these 3D models up close. You get to feel music in a surround sound way without really needing headphones, and you can put headphones on to mute it. and it's a perfect way to stay in shape and to exercise, and I think that's incredible design right there. And think about it, the headsets are only going to get better. Technology is always improving. So if you think, oh, it's wired, oh, that's really annoying me, there's wireless versions out now. You think, oh, it's not comfortable enough, it's going to get more comfortable in the years to come. You think, oh, it's straining, like it's too heavy to put on. It's adjustable. There's straps and buttons and doohickeys everywhere on the headsets that you can adjust to make it better, and they'll get lighter over the years. The first car wasn't amazing, but it evolved. So virtual reality. Give it a chance, please. In 10 years, I bet you it's going to be amazing and completely mainstream. As of right now, if you really like it, go for it. Virtual reality. The next form of escapism in the video game catalogue. I've been RPG Lover, and I hope you learnt at least something new in this video. See you next week.